We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police. It's to fund the police. Fund them. Fund them.
Joe Biden has consistently sided against police and with those who would make their job harder. He has unleashed his Department of Justice on police departments all over the country. And innocent Americans, many of them black, have paid for his soft-on-crime policies with their lives. A dozen major cities have recorded the highest number of homicides ever in the United States.
Record job growth, higher wages. Too many families are struggling to keep up with their bills. Inflation is robbing them of gains they thought otherwise they would be able to feel. I get it. That's why my top priority is getting prices under control. Look, our economy roared back faster than almost anyone predicted. But the pandemic meant that businesses had a hard time hiring enough people because of the pandemic to keep up production in their factories.
Joe Biden told you tonight that his plan to fight inflation will lower your costs and lower the deficit. He said he would lower inflation by pouring more cash into the economy, on top of the trillions he has already spent, while we are $30 trillion in debt. That is an insane lie. Build Back Better would, according to the Congressional Budget Office, increase the federal budget deficit by $3 trillion over the next 10 years if all Biden's proposed temporary programs became permanent, which is what he wants. And pouring the gasoline of government spending onto the raging fire of inflation is a perfect way to increase costs. Only a fool would propose it. Maybe that's why Joe Biden was telling you until the last 5 minutes that inflation would be temporary.
Together with our allies, we're providing support to the Ukrainians in their fight for freedom. Military assistance, economic assistance, humanitarian assistance. We're giving more than $1 billion of direct assistance to Ukraine and will continue to aid the Ukrainian people as they defend their country and help ease their suffering.
Joe Biden said, "We prepared extensively for the Russian invasion of Ukraine." That was untrue. We were manifestly unprepared. We reacted, as the rest of the world did, and should have. But had Joe Biden been prepared, perhaps he could have helped deter Russia's invasion, rather than encouraging Vladimir Putin's miscalculation.
My guess is if we took a secret ballot in this floor, that we'd all agree that the present tax system ain't fair. We have to fix it. I'm not looking to punish anybody, but let's make corporations and wealthy Americans start paying their fair share.
Joe Biden also told you tonight that corporations and the wealthiest Americans aren't paying their fair share of taxes. That, again, is a lie. The highest income Americans pay nearly all net income taxes after government benefits in the United States. Joe Biden said that inflation could be blamed on exploitation by corporations. Another lie. Inflation is a monetary phenomenon. Corporations didn't get more greedy last year. Joe Biden just became president.
And because this virus mutates and spreads, we have to stay on guard.
And Joe Biden said, "We will never just accept living with COVID-19. Another lie. Most Americans have been living free since vaccines became available. Only Democratic panic-mongering has prevented more Americans from doing the same, not COVID itself.
One way to fight inflation is to drive down wages and make Americans poorer. I think I have a better idea to fight inflation. Lower your costs, not your wages.
On the economy, Joe Biden has somehow turned a historic recovery into a chaotic nightmare. For 4 decades, inflation had not been a persistent problem in American life. Today, inflation rates are running at a 4-decade high, thanks to his socialistic spending plans and ridiculous regulations. Wage gains have been erased. Gas prices are emptying wallets, and the hundreds of thousands of small businesses that went dark thanks to Democratic-induced lockdown policies will never come back, erasing the life savings, dreams, and jobs of millions of Americans. We face future stagnation thanks to our unsustainable $30 trillion national debt.
Putin's latest attack on Ukraine was premeditated and totally unprovoked. He rejected repeated efforts at diplomacy. He thought the West and NATO wouldn't respond. He thought he could divide us at home, in this chamber, in this nation. He thought he could divide us in Europe as well. But Putin was wrong. We are ready. We are united, and that's what we did. We stayed united. Tonight, I say to the Russian oligarchs and the corrupt leaders who built billions of dollars off this violent regime, no more.
On foreign policy, Joe Biden has made America a laughingstock. Our enemies don't respect us, they don't fear us, they laugh at us. Biden promised stability. He promised he would be the adult in the room. Instead, he has acted like a toddler, whining, mewling, throwing tantrums, and then, in the end, capitulating. He precipitously withdrew from Afghanistan for no apparent reason and with no actual strategy, destroying a country for which America had expended thousands of lives and trillions of dollars by handing it over to a group of 8th century radical Islamist barbarians. Those barbarians promptly blew up 13 American service members. And in retaliation, Joe Biden's Reaper drones eviscerated an innocent family, including 7 children. Now, millions will starve, thousands will be sold into sex slavery, and terror groups will reconstitute on the very soil from which the attacks of September 11th were launched. And thousands of Americans were left behind to suffer under the Taliban. Then he proceeded to futz about uselessly as Putin prepared and launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, all of which paves the way for a Chinese attack on Taiwan and more aggressive Chinese moves in the South China Sea.
Folks, if we're to advance liberty and justice, we need to secure our border and fix the immigration system. And those who don't legitimately here can be sent back. Let's get it done once and for all.
Joe Biden has ushered in the greatest wave of illegal immigration in modern history. In his first year, Joe Biden's administration was on track for 2 million border apprehensions. The reason is clear. Illegal immigrants have been openly telling media members they're here because they believe Joe Biden will welcome them. Meanwhile, on our northern border, Joe Biden has stood in solidarity with Justin Trudeau as he claimed emergency powers to crush freedom in Canada. But at least Joe Biden has brought transgenderism and diversity, equity, and inclusion to the Defense Department. Don't you feel safer already? Lie after lie after lie. Enough. Enough of Joe Biden.